Well, here we are. This is basically I don't know, it's a bit of a lake, if you like. There's a canal at the back here. So we're at the Days Inn in Okeechobee, Florida. It's 11:15, and I have already been fishing this morning. I did do a bit when I arrived yesterday, but it was so busy, it'd been a weekend. It's a Sunday this morning. Yesterday was a Saturday. That it was a bit of a joke, and I just couldn't get any filming done. There were just people literally sitting a metre away from me. But we did catch a few, not a huge amount, but we did catch a few bits. And then this morning I came out after breakfast at 7 and fished sort of the end of the car park. Very shallow, only 18 inches deep, but we had quite a lot of bluegill and a Mayan cichlid. But what I've done is I've come down to the boat ramp because I figured it would be deeper here. Now it seems like it's a pretty inactive boat ramp by the looks of it. Doesn't look like there's any action. It's on the hotel, and the hotel's just over the back there. But as I suspected, there's sort of 3-4 feet of water out here. So just got a straight bomb and some bread on there, and I've been sort of messing between worms and I was going to say maggots then, but worms and minnows and bread on the float. And a couple of inquiries while I was setting the cameras up, but so far nothing. But it does seem to be, like a lot of places back home, very much dependent on bite time. So just trying to get the line sunk. Get it into the edge of these reeds here. It's about 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet just off those reeds, and then just drop down in the middle there. So let's see what we can do. One of these things I kind of forget when I do these trips is days. What day is it? And I was planning to go onto the Kissimmee River, but it's a Sunday, so it's going to be absolutely rammed down there. So I think we'll push that back to tomorrow or the day after. But again, getting bait, the tackle shops, well I say tackle shops, tackle supermarkets, they're massive places. Open at 5 a.m. You know. So yeah, it's light at about 6:30 at the moment here. So I think tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on what the weather's doing, because we are due a little bit of rain. It looks like it might be coming now. It's a bit grim, but it's not cold. So yeah, we'll sort of see. But we did get a few cichlids this morning. I did have a small bass on the lure as well. I did break out the lure rod. So got a 9-footer there, just set up with a little pipe bung. There's no weights down the line. A size big circle. Look for shiners when I get some of those. 10-pound fluoro, and then the little lure rod. I actually had it on a sort of what they call a rattle trap. A third or fourth cast, a little 2-pound largemouth. So they are here. So now I've kind of sussed out a little bit. We'll concentrate, but today we're just going to fish like normal, really. I had a couple of channel catfish on the bottom yesterday, and the bites are savage. They're like method feeder bites, midsummer. Just the tip just wallops round, and they weren't very big, maybe a couple of pound. Savage. That's quite a little indication on the float then, but I have got a little minnow on, so it might be. But I've got quite a thick waggler, so they don't seem to pull it under. So species we're fishing for are bluegills, Mayan cichlid, potentially largemouth, channel catfish, bullhead catfish. I think there's yellows and blacks. Snakeheads are here as well. So, yeah. But we're going to fish for a few hours today, and then going to have a bit of an afternoon off doing touristy stuff. And then we've got a couple of days to sort of really try and get into it. So interesting story. Went out for dinner last night to a tiki bar just up the road. Amazing food here, it always is. And just having a beer afterwards. And chap's come and sort of tapped me on the shoulder. And it was an English fella, works over here, lives over here now. And he was from literally the other side of Nottingham. He's a farmer out here, so yeah, small world. Yeah, we are in the middle of Florida. And there's somebody that you meet just up the road. His wife worked in the restaurant where I was, and I kind of half heard an English accent. I thought, no, I must be hearing things. Yeah, we are in the deepest, darkest Florida. And yeah, very bizarre. So yeah, but you know, somebody's got a boat, so potentially, yeah, everybody's so friendly. We might get out onto the main lake, which would be absolutely amazing. So this area of Florida, Okeechobee and the Kissimmee River, known for their crappie fishing. Okeechobee Lake, I think it's ridiculous, it's massive. It's like 80 miles top to bottom. It's huge. I think it's like the 7th biggest lake in the US. It's pretty big. Man-made as well, which they just dammed and flooded, I would guess, because Florida is pretty flat. I think it holds the Florida bass record. And there are some big bass in there, sort of 8, 10, 12 pounders from what I understand, which would be amazing to get out and try and get one of those. Because my biggest ever bass, funnily enough, from Okeechobee last year is just under 4 pounds. So yeah. Fish topping, I think they're catfish. They're rolling. There's those armoured catfish, plecos, absolutely everywhere. Impossible to catch. They don't. Yeah, they're an algae eater. They just graze and sort of eat the algae. But occasionally you might foul hook one. But yeah, they tend to sort of top. During the day, just sort of porpoising. And they are big. You see them in the canals when we get down south. That's a bite. Yeah, what's this? It's a little bass. It's a little largemouth bass. Take that. Everything fights so hard here. I mean, it's not even a pound. There we go. took a little minnow. But that's what all the Americans rave about. He's half a pound if that, but look at the size of the mouth on them. It's huge. So here, look at that. Huge. See why they get their name, largemouth, but he's cool. Pop him back. Ooh. Zoom, gone. So yeah, on a size 14 on a little minnow. But I'm going to swap to I think a worm now. And give that a whirl. Second bass of the trip. It is a bit smaller than the first one, but I get quite a few of them on float gear. They'll take worms on the drop. It's one of those common ways to catch them. Is yeah, they'd like a worm, a moving worm. And of course the standard lures, jigs, that kind of thing seems to catch them, but we get a huge amount of angling pressure here. So I think UK course tactics will work quite well. Excellent. Ooh, ooh. Hey, here we go, we're in again. Ooh, ooh. This is a bit bigger. That's on the bread, the feeder. Ooh. Where's this going? What is this? I don't know what this is. I've not seen it yet. It's a catfish. I think it's a bullhead. Let's have a look. Ah, they fly well, not very big. Yeah, it's a bullhead. Black bullhead. I think. Yes. Is it a bullhead? Yeah, I'm sure that's. I don't know. Has it got a forked tail? Yeah, I'm sure that's a bullhead catfish. So yeah, look at that. Black bullhead, that one. I think. I'm sure it is. I don't know, somebody, if we get any American followers, they'll tell me I'm wrong. Let's took it down, so I'm going to grab the scourge up. There's definitely a definitive bite time here. Seems to be early morning and late evening. Same as back home. You can catch oddfish during the day, but I don't know I don't know whether it kind of links to angling pressure. So what I noticed yesterday was when I got here about 10, I was catching, I was getting a few bites on the Kissimmee River, and there was one other guy there. He was catching loads of crappie, and funnily enough, it was a guy I met last year. He still fishes under that bridge. He's there every day filling his freezer, but it just got busier and busier and busier as the day went on, and the bites dried up. So I don't know whether it's the pressure. I mean, these guys are fishing so many rods, There's just lines everywhere. It just backs the fish off. I don't know, as daft as it sounds, what I'm constantly doing is just scanning the edge of the water, because alligators are an absolute real thing here. You know, although it's winter and they are fairly dormant, they are a very real thing. Although I was reading, I think last night, that there's only actually been, I think, 37 deaths attributed to alligators since the 1960s, 1940s maybe. But what they do is they take a lot of dogs, cats, things like that. They very much eye up, you know, what they can eat. And they don't eat a lot, you know, so like the birds and things, herons and egrets, it's kind of an ideal size meal for them. But yeah, chatting to this chap yesterday, he's a dairy farmer. You know, they have like 14-foot alligators in with the cows, and they just don't seem to bother them. So yeah, very strange. I've only ever seen one alligator while I've been fishing here, and so this is like the 4th year I've been now. I've only seen one. Well, sorry, I've only seen one while I've been fishing. I've been out on an airboat and seen a few out there, and as we saw one last year actually, till I see two in Okeechobee when I was out on a charter. There was one in the lake, but yeah, there are places you can go, and they are prevalent. To more down towards the Everglades, which is a couple hundred miles south of here. So we travelled down from St Augustine yesterday morning, which was 230 odd miles. Took about 3 hours. Roads are amazing here. Just a steady sort of 70 all the way down the I-95. And it's noticeably warmer here. Noticeably warmer. I did tick off a couple of new species there yesterday that I'd not had. So golden shiner, which is probably the most popular bait for bass here. And red breast sunfish, which is a very pretty fish. It's definitely something I'd have in an aquarium back home. Really pretty little sunfish. And we did have some absolute donkey bluegills and a couple of tilapia. And we caught the real big bluegills out of a lake that's not supposed to have any in, according to the locals. Chatting to a couple of locals, they're like, no, there's no bluegills in here. I'm like, well, there is, and they're big. And again, chatting to people about catching tilapia up there, they were like, I didn't think they were that far north, but they've obviously made their way up there. I've seen one in here this morning in the margins, cruising round. They like bread as well. So let's see. Let's have a sit down for a minute. Oh. I think we'll give it Give it 15 minutes more here, and then we'll move around the corner and see what's going on then. Ooh. Ooh. Faffing around and I bloody missed it. Again, could have been a turtle though. Turtles on here, I found a very slow bite, and they don't fight. They just kind of come in and then try and bite you. They're a flipping nightmare. I had 2 yesterday, I've had 2 this morning. Albeit, I've had 2 different species this morning. A soft shell and I think they're red-eared sliders. So, yeah. What we're going to do first is untangle the mess. Have a few casts over this first. Do quite like little fishing, but I find it quite hard work. I'm not very good at it. I don't seem to. You see these guys back home that go down the canals, you know, slaughtering perch and zander and stuff. And I've just never had that much success. Don't get me wrong, I've caught, you know, some nice pike every now and again, and I think that might be gone. Yep. So some of the more astute you may or may not have noticed, depending what this plant is down here. So this is pennywort, which has become a huge problem back home. Absolutely choking waterways, that kind of thing, causing havoc for boats. And it just creates dense mats that reach right across the rivers. What it does, it just blocks out the natural light and kills any other sort of plants underneath it, which in turn, you know, reduces invertebrate life, and the fish don't do so well. The reason it doesn't seem to take over here is because the manatees come and eat it. And I've seen them on the main river. The manatees come in and they just devour it. They are literally like sea cows. They just come and absolutely muller it. So yeah, it's one of those where, you know, it just gets eaten by it in its natural habitat, whereas back home we don't have manatees and stuff like that. Sort of see how we can go from there. I do feel like bite time has passed us now. Yeah, because this morning on bread it was a fish, a chuck. Not big ones, but... So yeah, it's... Let's try a minnow. Let's try a minnow. Not really anything topping. Loads of fish topping this morning, but now they seem to have slowed down. So feeder. Let's get a bomb rod out. What we'll do is we'll chuck this down to our... all right. Again, we'll just do a gentle gets shallower again there. That lure that I've just lost in the reeds, annoyingly, I think I've got from Walmart. I'll have a look, something similar. I'll go later. In fact, I've still got the packet. Got another one. Again, just a silver blue, just as from a visibility point of view, just makes it a lot easier. So, you know, shiner or bluegill, just matching the hatch, I think, as the trout guys say. Maybe that's why nobody's here, because the fish is crap during the day.
Well, bites pretty much dried up completely after that. Not a lot going on at all. So I called it a day there, but don't be too distraught. The next episode, I am down on the Kissimmee River as it joins Lake Okeechobee, and yeah, we do catch a few down there.